How well do you know the backyard in Grounded? Do you consider yourself an expert? Well, today you're going to find out because you'll be playing Grounded Geoguessr. If you're not familiar with Geoguessr, it's a game where you're shown a picture of a location and you have to guess where it is in the world. Today, however, instead of looking at real-world pictures, you'll be looking at locations in the backyard in Grounded. I'll show you a picture of a location, give you a little bit of time to figure out where it's located, and then I'll show you the actual location. At the end of the video, you'll see how well you know the backyard and where you rank on the Grounded Geoguessr scale. After watching the video, let me know which level you achieved in the comments down below, and if you like this type of video, click the like button and I'll do even more in the future. Let's get started. The way the game is going to work is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to show you a picture like the one on the screen right now. So this is your first picture. It's going to be a location of a place in the backyard. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about where it's located, then I'm going to show you the actual location. So do you know where the soda can's located? Let's find out. So I'm right here on the map near the oak tree. I'm going to show you exactly where I am, and I have it marked with this little brown dot right here. It is actually the Calvo can. So I'm right here by the oak tree. If you come out here and make a left down here past the oak tree, head over here towards the koi pond, you're going to see the Calvo can. This might look familiar because you may or may not have built a base over here. I've seen lots of people build cool bases in this soda can specifically because it's one of the ones that's not crushed, and it's also pretty flat on the ground like this, so you can actually build a pretty cool base in here. So make sure you keep track. That's the first location. Now let's take a look at the second picture and see if you know where that is. Were you able to locate this one? I know this was a little bit tougher than the first one because there was no obvious landmark like the soda can, but there's a good chance you've either gone past this place or walked directly through it. It is the tunnel leading out from underneath the fallen branch, which leads to the rotten larva blade. So let's take a look at it in real time. So basically, you're going to walk down here. So the mysterious machine's right over there. You can walk down here through this path. It'll protect you from the mites that are up on top of the fallen log. Like I said, I'm in creative, so there's no bugs on here, but this is a good way to avoid these mites that are up here. You can head on out here. This is the exact picture right here looking towards the house. If you head over here past where this food is and the food tray for the billy hogs, you can actually grab the rotten larva blade, which is under the leaf right over there. So that's a good early game weapon. So let me know whether or not you found this location. Keep track, and we're going to head on over to the third one. So let's take a look at the third picture to see if you know where that's located. This third picture might have been even tougher than the second, although if you've unlocked all the mutations or you've played a lot of time in the backyard, you probably know where this is. It's actually the location of the cave that takes you to the 4-leaf clover, which unlocks phase 1 of coup de grace, which is one of the better mutations of the game. It's the one that gives you an additional chance to get a crit on enemies when attacking. So right here on the map, we're just east of where the previous location was. So this is where we just were. We're just over here. So we're right here by the Yoke Earth Head. What we're going to do is we're going to walk down here, and I'm going to show you exactly where it's located. It is in a little pond here. Now, the first time I found this, I will say, no pun intended, I was really lucky. I was just walking through here, and I just accidentally stumbled upon this and fell down into the water and fell straight down into the tunnel. So if you go down in this tunnel and swim through it, you can actually probably do it without gear on. I think you can make it without gill tube, but although it's probably recommended to have some type of light source like a slime lantern, it'll take you to the 4-leaf clover. Discovering that will, like I said, give you the first phase of coup de grace. So now let's take a look at the fourth location. Did you recognize this cave? This might even be the hardest one so far, and this is honestly a cave you probably don't want to wander into accidentally early on. It's the entrance to the larva den. Now, you may have gone down in this area and not even known this cave existed. At least I didn't. In fact, one time I was recording this, the first time when I was going through looking for the picture locations, I couldn't even remember where this was, so I had to go and actually the other entrance to get to the end of this cave. So right here on the map, we're by Spade Gulch, so this is Spade Gulch. The location of that tunnel is over here, so we're going to show you that in just a second. But this is probably where you normally go into Spade Gulch. Now, you're going to need to break some acorns and blow up the rocks to get down here, but if you head over here, you're actually going to find the tunnel that I just showed you, which is the way you can get in if you have not discovered Brat Burst or Splat Burst yet. So it's right here. This is the cave entrance. This is the way to get into the larva den. And if, like I said, we'll go down here real quick just to show you. There's no bugs in here because we're on creative with no bugs. But this is the entrance to the larva den. You're going to have some quartzite down here. There's sometimes, depending on the time of day, there may or may not be a lot of larvae down here. You're just going to need to make sure you have a hammer if you come in this way, because you got to break the quartzite to get through. There is a field station down there, as well as a milk molar and some other resources you can gather. Now let's take a look at our 5th location. This one might be a little bit easier for you, especially if you've discovered everything in the game. Did that location look familiar to you? It should if you've discovered the ant totem recipe or found the Rotten Ant Club. We are over here by the hedge area on the far eastern side of the map, down in the bottom right corner. We're over here by the bird bath. So the bird bath's right here, and this tunnel right here is back over here against the wall. Now, just over on the other side of this rock, I'll show you real quick, is the tunnel that opens up that lets you get to and from the different parts of the hedge area. But over here, back here, hidden in this little corner, is going to be the picture that I took. It's going to be the cave that leads up here. And inside of here, you're going to see this little ant totem heads all over the place. You're going to find the ant totem recipe, the Rotten Ant Club. There's also a backpack around this corner that's going to have some ant parts in it as well. So if you're like me and you're a completionist and want to be able to craft everything like I'm doing for my museum right now, you're going to want to make sure you find this ant totem recipe. Also, the Red Ant Club is probably the best early game weapon. It's still probably the early game weapon, in my opinion. So make sure you head on over here when you get a chance and grab that if you haven't already crafted it. But let's take a look at the 6th one and head on into the second half of this video. You know where this unicorn sticker is located? I'm going to be honest with you. If you showed me this picture, it would have probably taken me a little bit of time to figure out where it was. Because honestly, in the 500 hours I've played this game, I've probably walked past this location a bunch of times, and that's the Frankenline. So we're here near the koi pond. This is where the Calvacan was that we found earlier. This is where we are on the map. We're over here by the Frankenline. So I'm sure you've seen the Frankenline before. However, have you ever looked at the back of the Frankenline? Because honestly, when I walk over here, I usually walk past the front of it. But if you head on over here to the back of it, you're going to see the location of our 6th picture, which was back here, right on the back. We got our unicorn sticker. So if you found that one, that's impressive, honestly, to me, because like I said, in my 500 hours, I probably walked past this, but if you showed me that picture, now if you zoomed out, I would know it was the Frankenline, but zoomed in like super close like this, it was a little bit tougher to see. So congratulations if you found that one. Let's take a look at our next location. Were you able to spot this location? It's underneath the picnic table. So if you did, great job. So we're over here underneath the picnic table, which is one of the newer areas that was updated in the Hot and Hazy update. So the picnic table has been around, I think, as long as I can remember, but it's at the very least, it's been around for a long time, if not since day one. However, the area underneath of it used to be grass, so there's nothing over here. This was updated in the Hot and Hazy update. And what we have over here is, this is the picture I took, it's right here. So we're underneath the picnic table, directly under it, and I was facing the milk molar bottle that was under here. So I tried to give a little bit of a hint by having the milk molar bottle in the distance, and perhaps the terrain under here might have looked familiar enough to you to know that it was underneath the picnic table. So if you found this one, great job. Let's take a look at our 8th location. Did this piece of trash look familiar to you? It's the Yote Girth action figure box. So we're over here in the trash heap, which is in the bottom left corner of the map. So we're right here by the black anthill entrance right here. And back here in this corner is going to be the Yote Girth action figure box. Now, unfortunately, the Yote Girth has been taken out of here. Otherwise, this thing might be worth a little bit of money. And we are right back here looking at this. So there's the Yote Girth right there. You know his head is over by the hedge area, and and underneath of it is a wolf spider. But here's the box, and hey, maybe, you never know, maybe these other characters will be added at some point in the future. So we got 8 down, 2 to go. Let's go to our penultimate location and see if you can find that. Did you find this location? It was inside the sandbox underneath the bucket that's up in the top corner. So let's head over here to the spicy cha-cha candy. So not only is the candy hot, the location's hot, especially when the sun's out. You'll be getting sizzled if you don't have some protection. So here's that location. Make sure you come over here and grab this candy if you haven't already done so. And you can also find lots of treasures down here inside of the sandbox. So now let's head over to our 10th and final location, and then we'll wrap this video up and see how you've done and how much of an expert you are in the backyard. This final location might be more disgusting than the trash heap we just located, and that's because it's an ashtray full of nail clippings, which is located on the table in front of the shed. Now, even if you played the new update, there's a chance you might not have been up here because I don't think everybody knows that you can actually get on the table. So let's quickly show you where this location is. So we're over here by the side of the shed here, on the right side of the shed. You can actually jump up on this can here, run up this baseball bat. You're gonna need to make sure you have a dandelion glider. You'll also discover the bomber baseball bat while you're over here, which is interesting because I did walk past this earlier when I was taking the pictures, and this it didn't give me that location. So make sure you get that bomber bat location. You're going to run across here. Now, normally this area is actually going to be a little bit, actually quite dangerous. There's lots of black ants that are normally up here, as well as some dust mites. So be careful and run across as fast as you can. We're going to get up on top of this hammer. What we're going to do is we're going to run and jump off, and we're just going to pull our glider out as soon as possible so we can land right on top of this table. And there, we made it. We're going to head on over here. There's some candy corn up here for you to grab, but this is actually a landmark as well, and that is the ashtray, and inside of it are nail clippings. Now, these were added, I think, after the public test server, or maybe at the end of them, because I'm pretty sure the first time I came up here, there were not nail clippings in here, but there are now, and here's your nail clipper. So that's the 10 locations. Let's take a look at all 10 locations one more time real quick, and then take a look at the scale and see where you fell on it. So our first location was the Calvo Cam, which is located over by the koi pond near the oak tree. Second up was the tunnel leading under the fallen log that has mites all over it that leads to the rotten larva blade that you can find early on in the game and can make your life easier early on. Third was going to be the entrance to the four-leaf clover, which of course unlocks the first stage of the coup de grace mutation, which is one of the mutations I pretty much always have equipped in the game. Fourth location was the entrance to the larva den. You can also get to the larva den by blowing up the rock that's down in the Spade Gulch. However, if you want to get in there and you don't have the grenades early on in the game, or you don't have the brat burst, you can just go in this backdoor location. Just be careful, because if you go in there at the wrong time, there might be a dozen or more larvae down there. The fifth location is the entrance to where the ant totem recipe is located, as well as the rotten ant club, and there's also a backpack in there. This, of course, was over by the bird bath near the hedge. The sixth place we visited was the back of the Frankenline. So the Frankenline is on the western side of the koi pond, close to the retaining wall, and on the back of it was this unicorn sticker. The first newer location was underneath the picnic table, facing the milk molar bottle. Next up, we visited the trash heap and looked at the yoked girth box, which was back by the entrance to the Black Anthill lab. Then we headed over to the sandbox, and underneath the green bucket up in the top left corner of the sandbox was the spicy cha-cha candy. And finally, we made our way to the last location, which was the ashtray that's sitting on the table on the deck of the shed. This is the newest part of the map that was updated. So now let's take a look at the scale and figure out where you landed and how much of an expert you are in the backyard. So let's find out how well you did. Are you a backyard expert? If you got all 10 correct, you're an Omnid operative. Congratulations. If you got 8 or 9 correct, you're an Omnid employee. 6 or 7 makes you an Omnid intern. 3 to 5, you're a backyard explorer. And 0 to 2, you're a backyard novice. Let me know which level you achieved down in the comments below. If this is the type of video you'd like to see and you want to see more of them, hit the like button. If the video gets enough likes, I will consider doing another video like this or more in the future, and I might even consider having you send me pictures and having me be the person going out and finding them to see how much of an expert I am. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all my channel members, especially the Overseer91, Grey Knight, Baz Channel, and all my other channel members who help make videos like this possible. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.